Apple just pulled off something it has never done before, and it's going to directly affect the iPhone you'll see on shelves next month. For the very first time, every single iPhone 17 model is being produced outside of Apple's longtime manufacturing hub, not just a small portion, not just the budget versions, but the entire lineup. That's a huge shift for a company that has relied on the same country for nearly 2 decades, and it could reshape the way iPhone launches feel for years to come. Why does this matter? Well, for most of us, the biggest frustration with new iPhones isn't the announcement itself, it's the wait. Stock shortages, delayed shipping, and that scramble to get a device on launch day have become part of the routine. By diversifying large-scale production into new regions, Apple is setting itself up to have more devices ready worldwide from day one. That means when the iPhone 17 officially launches in September, there's a real chance you'll actually get your hands on one without the usual chaos. Now, let's look at how big this move really is. Apple isn't just experimenting here. They're going all in, spreading production across several new facilities that are already ramping up. Some of these plants are expected to handle nearly half of Apple's smartphone output within just a couple of years. And the numbers already show momentum. In just a few months this year, exports of iPhones from these new locations have surged to billions of dollars, nearly half of what was achieved in the entire previous fiscal year. This isn't just about supply either, it's about shifting the balance of power. For years, one country has been the undisputed hub for iPhone manufacturing, but recent reports suggest Apple's new production centers may now be overtaking it as key suppliers to the US market. That's a seismic change, and it puts Apple in a stronger position to diversify its supply chain. For a company that likes to control every detail, spreading risk across multiple regions is a smart long-term play. Of course, there's another layer to this: tariffs and politics. Apple CEO Tim Cook recently pledged hundreds of billions in US investments over the next 4 years, partly to keep tariff exemptions for iPhones made outside of China. Meanwhile, this transition hasn't been without tension. There have been reports of engineers being shifted between countries, with replacements coming in from other parts of Asia at higher costs. That means Apple is paying more upfront to make this transition work, but clearly they think it's worth it. So, what does this mean for you and me? For one, launch day should be smoother. If you've ever tried refreshing Apple's site at midnight only to see your delivery date slip to November, this shift could be the solution. More factories, more units, and less dependence on one country's logistics should mean better availability worldwide. Another angle is pricing. Most people say they only care where their iPhone is made if it changes the cost. And while production in new regions can be more expensive right now, Apple's bet is that scaling up will eventually balance things out. There's also the bigger picture. For years, Apple's manufacturing has been heavily concentrated in a single place, making it vulnerable to disruptions, whether political, economic, or logistical. By investing billions into building supply chains elsewhere, Apple isn't just hedging its bets, it's rewriting the future of its entire business model. This isn't just about this year's iPhone. It's about ensuring that no single event can slow down or derail global launches. Personally, I think this is Apple playing the long game. Making all iPhone 17 models outside its traditional hub isn't just about this year's rollout. It's about setting the stage for the next decade. China will remain a major part of Apple's production, no doubt, but spreading manufacturing gives Apple flexibility. If trade tensions flare, if costs rise, or if governments change policies, Apple won't be stuck in a single lane. It also tells us something about the iPhone 17 launch itself. Apple clearly wants to avoid the rocky rollouts we've seen in the past, where demand was sky high, but stock was limited. By putting multiple facilities into full swing, Apple is signaling that the iPhone 17 isn't just another upgrade, it's the start of a new chapter in how iPhones are built and delivered. And while factories and supply chains might sound like behind-the-scenes details, they have a direct impact on how quickly that shiny new iPhone ends up in your pocket. For once, production isn't just a business story, it's a launch day experience story. So when September rolls around and the iPhone 17 finally lands, don't just look at the new features on the screen, look at the bigger picture. This is the first iPhone where every single model was built entirely outside of Apple's long-standing comfort zone. It's a milestone that might not grab headlines like a new camera or chipset, but in the long run, it could be the change that affects Apple users the most. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.